What's going on today, everybody? So it's another beautiful day outside, and I've got a little bit of ambition to get something done today. So I got a package in the mail that I want to show you. Got a couple things that I want to get to. I am gonna, first things first though, I've got to clean up this mess that I'm calling a workbench. It's getting out of control, so I got to clean this up, get it ready. I'm gonna pull the car in and get ready for what's in the box. So here we go. This is the box that I got in the mail. Let's open it up. First things first, since I'm almost out, always good to have a second gallon or an extra gallon of coolant, especially because this is special coolant, on hand. So that's something I've been needing to do. I used up the last of it trying to bleed the system on the STI. And then the next thing is I've got 6 quarts of gear oil. So I'm going to be doing the manual transmission and the rear diff fluid change. Since I've already gone through every other fluid in the car, might as well just get everything set to the same mileage and everything back to brand new. So I've got 6 quarts of that new oil. One last piece to the puzzle is this. I've been wanting to get one of these for a while. It's supposed to help a lot with engines, especially when you're tuning. So what I got is a good 3-port boost control solenoid. Let's open it up. Let's see what's in the package, see how it looks. I always love it when companies take that extra second. It's printed on cardboard. It's so cool to see how other companies differentiate themselves and stuff. So it looks like they have a video online we can look up on how to install. That's what's in the package. That's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. So it's plug and play. Even comes with a little sticker. Can't see that. There you go. So that's cool. I'm ready to get. I want to get this installed, but in order to install this, it has to be tuned. Can't be running boost with this because it's like 30% less boost. You got to mess with your boost curve tables. I'm going to get the car tuned here, and since I can't be boosting anyways, I'm going to wait until we get time to go tune this to put this on. I get most of my parts through Rally Sport Direct. I absolutely love the customer service. I've called a couple times and they've been super helpful with everything. So shout out to Rally Sport Direct. That and their shipping has been crazy. Not a sponsored video, but I order all my stuff through them. They seem to know everything or answer any questions that I ever have, and they have everything that I ever need for them. So thank you, Rally Sport Direct, for sending out this box of stuff, and I can't wait to install it. So I've got this boost control solenoid. I've got the Subaru that I'm still trying to break in the engine on, but at the end of that break-in, since I've got new 8.5 to 1 instead of 8.2 to 1 pistons in it, and I want to have it pro-tuned, I'm going to go get it pro-tuned. It'll help the car out a lot, and I want to maximize the tune as much as I can. So I went through, rebuilt the whole engine. I'm going to have to, when I go to get it tuned, I'm going to have to get new spark plugs, have them ready to install, clean out the air filter, which is pretty gross. I should probably clean that soon. New gas. I want to get this boost control solenoid on. I've got everything else that I really need right now going in the car. I might get one other thing, probably not, but I might get one other thing before this tune so I don't have to tune for a long time. We'll see. Of course, I want to get like 9 different things and go E85 and big fuel injectors, new fuel lines, new fuel rails, and really maximize this turbo to where the only limiting thing is going to be turbo. But I don't know what I want to do as far as turbos, if I do go big turbo, if I do go rotated. I know I want to get a better flowing turbo or a better turbo, dual ball bearing, something that's really nice. Doesn't have to be huge, just something that's torquey. I want the torque out of this car. I don't care too much about the horsepower. It's a lie. I care about the horsepower, but I care more about getting torque. That being said, I don't want to do equal length headers. They give you a whole bunch more torque, but that Subi rumble is what I love about the Subarus. If I didn't, I would go get a Corvette. I'd go get something else. So I know that the boxer rumble is the mark of inefficiency, making pulse patterns collide instead of stacking. I understand that, but I want to try to get the car where I have fun on the weekends and I can drive the car hard and still know that it's going to be able to make it home at the end of the day. I don't want something that I'm going to have to be on the side of the road working on all the time. I want it to be reliable, as everybody else does. But I just want to upgrade a couple things with this and get it ready for the tune before we get it tuned. So we'll get to installing this probably in a little bit. I don't want to install it before the tune because it will mess with boost. So, but right before, I'll probably install it. Don't hook any of the hoses up. Install it, get it ready to hook up, and then while I'm down there waiting, just hook it up real quick. It's super simple. So yeah, I'm going to get on to probably working on this gear oil. I want to get those diffs changed out sooner rather than later. And I also have a super annoying headlight hazing on my car that I really, really want to fix. So I don't know if I want to do the gear oil first or the headlights. The headlights will be easier to get done. We'll see. I guess we'll find out in the next clip what one I decide to do. Well, we might as well get the dirty stuff done first and move on to the easier, cleaner stuff later, because this is going to take a little bit to do. So we'll work on this rear diff first. So I'm under here with the rear diff. This right here is a 17 mil that is your drain plug. This is your fill plug. It has a wire connected to it. You have to take that wire out, and then there is a bolt behind it that you have to take out to fill it back up. So we'll start draining on this. We'll let this one drain for a little bit and probably go up and grab the front transmission as well and let that drain at the same time with another bucket. So these have a little drain plug that's magnetic, and it actually does not have very much oil. Let's see if I can get it. Oil on it, or shavings on it. It has a little ball, but that's really good. here are the two plugs that you you don't have to take this one out, but it makes your life a lot easier, so you can pull this out of the way. So it's got a little clip on it that's a pressure clip. It sits up there like this. You push it on the bottom, unclip it, and then this one has one up here that sits on the top. Push it down and pull it out. Now you can go and tuck this up over the sway bar so we can get to that one. And that one looks like a 17 as well. So I was wrong. This one actually is a 19. Now we've got that loose. Pull it out. Make sure it's not got any damage on it. Go get it cleaned up and get ready to start filling this back up. So on the transmission side, there's actually two drain plugs. This will get rid of this sump right here, and then there's one right here. And then to fill it, it's all the way up here. So you actually need two different bits. This is a, what is it? T70. Let's see if I can grab it. T70 Torx bit. Big old Torx bit. And then a 3/8 Allen wrench. So this one's an Allen head, this one's an Allen head, but to get all the transmission fluid out, you have to have that Torx bit to get this one undone. So here is a super helpful hint or tip or trick, whatever you want to call it. Always make sure that you can undo the filler bolt before you drain the fluid. Because if you can't get that filler bolt undone, it's not worth changing the oil in it right now until you can get that top one out. Because once you drain that oil and you can't get the filler plug in, it's never gonna, the fluid's never gonna make it get back in there. It's not. You're gonna have to drill a hole, tap it, get that bolt out somehow, get a new one. So always make sure that you can break free the filler before you get going on this. So I actually went through and broke free all 3 bolts to make sure that I can do this as effectively as I can. I know every one of them will come undone, and I can fill it back up, and it will be good to go. But I actually found that out the hard way, that I drained it and could not get the top bolt back together. It wasn't on this car. It was on a truck that I had, but it was a very well-learned life lesson, because I actually had to remove the whole transmission in order to get a drill in to drill out the existing nut to fill the transmission back out. That changed the transmission flush from half-hour job into a 3-day job. Always make sure you can get your fill plug undone first. Most times I'll start on it. It was easier for me to get to these bottom ones first, but I didn't drain the fluid until I knew that top one would come undone. So always, I cannot stress it enough, always make sure you can get that undone. So now that this is draining for a little bit, we're going to put the plug back in, the one, and start draining the front side of the transmission, make sure that we can get all that out, and then we will probably move back to the back and start filling this thing up while this front's straining. So this side's actually got a decent amount of shavings on it. It's not a whole lot, but there is some on there. So always make sure to clean these before you get done with it, and then before you put it back in. We'll let that drain out, and then we'll head to the rears to finish up that. So, a trait about me, whether it be good or bad, is I'm a super DIYer. Do it yourself. Yeah. One thing that it causes problems usually is I will have this amazing idea that something will work. I'll find it. I'll keep it for whatever. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. But I seem to always get myself in predicaments. So I actually have a pump here, but this pump is from a caramel, some type of caramel sauce that goes down, and it's, you pump it out and you get food. So I've had it sitting around. I've wanted to try it for a while on this gear oil. So we're gonna try it, I guess. I hope, one thing, it's pretty long, so I hope that I have enough room underneath the car. If not, I'll just jack it up a little bit more. But I'll let you know how this works. One thing I did do is I modified the end. It had a little 90 that came straight down, and it came down to about right there. So I chopped that off, and I made sure that I kind of tightened up where it can actually go into. So now it's poking more, it's going out more, and it can fit inside the hole. Hopefully I can make it work. If not, I've got a piece of hose that I could put around this and then just push it in. It won't be any problem. So we'll see. Not gonna work, so we'll get a piece of hose to put on that. The whole goal of this is to get it to where it's just barely, it'll start leaking out of this hole, and that's when you know that it's full. That's why it's got this line in here to allow that to come out, and you can just barely see that there's oil coming out of the hole right there. I can wipe it away, and it should come back. You can see it coming back. So we've got enough oil in there where it's coming back out, and then we will put the plug back in, and the rear diff will be done. Gave it a quick little tighten. Now pull these down. Clip that one in, and then the other one clips in right up there. Just slides right onto it. Just like that. Cool. Rear end's done. I'm going to clean that up a little bit so it's not leaking all over the place. Now that we've got all this oil in, double check everything, because it's a lot easier to check a low car like this when it's actually up on the jack stands instead of having to get it back up on the jack stands when you've got a leak. So what I do is I clean everything off real good with carb cleaner, get that oil off there, and leave it for the night. Let it see if it's leaking anywhere, and then you can always come back and double check it. It's easy that way. I used to have a Toyota, though. It was lifted. Didn't have to do that because it's lifted. You can get under it real easy. The pain in the neck part would be filling it up. That part sucks. But lowered cars, different story. It's easier to fill up, but it's harder to check things underneath. So double check everything, make sure it's not leaking, and clean up. And that's gonna do it for me today. Got the trans completely changed and the rear diff completely changed. It was pretty good. The trans took 4.3, I think is what the factory calls for, and then the rear takes 1.1 or 1.2. It was just over a bottle. So I still have about half a bottle left over. Plenty to do both. Really messy job. This oil's been fighting me the whole time. I've got oil, it seems to be everywhere. So I've got some real cleanup to do underneath the car. I gotta throw my old oil pan away. The lid is leaking on it. So I actually left to go to dinner, came back, and there's just a huge oil pool underneath the car because that lid was leaking. So that was great. Okay, I'm gonna quit rambling. That's how you change the oil in your manual transmission and rear diff for Subaru STI. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.